Welcome back everyone. It was now the month of November, a month of misty mornings and chilly evenings and bonfires. Meanwhile, I was making a mess in the cockpit, sorting out electrics, a few damaged sockets in the cabin, but also sorting out dodgy looking battery terminals from when I replaced the AGMs. In the last episode, I'd noticed a few of the terminals needed sorting out, so that was the job at that time, either replacing the terminals or cutting back the wiring and refitting them. While doing this, I was also running wiring and a cut-off switch for this 3000 watt inverter that I had bought. A little explanation as to what that is. The reason for the inverter is it converts DC direct current to AC alternating current, so your homes will run on alternating current. So anything that I need to plug in, like a 3-pin plug that you have in the UK, like my washing machine, that needs to run through the inverter because it works off AC. At this time I had a lot going on in my head because of an ever increasing problem, certainly in the UK, which was starting to affect me financially.
Energy bills are set to skyrocket again, this time by even more, almost £900 more.
Conditions have worsened in the global gas market, reached over 10 times their normal level.
As a personal trainer, when things get tight for people, I'm often the first to be dropped because obviously rent, mortgage, food on the table, all that has to come first. I just lost one client because he'd got another job abroad and was about to lose another. Money was running out and I was now in a financial deficit in terms of what I was earning. I had to make the decision to get the boat back in the water in a month's time in early December. The thing to suffer with this was the hardtop. I needed to get something sorted straight away, and unfortunately it meant doing something I really didn't want to do, but there was so much to add to it. I had 3 solar panels to fit up there, run all the wiring, and now only having a month to do everything. I was already becoming exhausted. 13 months of working for myself and working on the boat was taking its toll. So first I needed to cover up the OSB my mate had told me to use so he could fiberglass. So I just screwed ply straight over the top of that. I then used a latex paint. I had some already and bought some more. It was a quick fix and a cheap fix. You got to remember, at this stage I'd ploughed so much money into the boat I practically had nothing left. Now I know people are still going to want to jump in the comments and tell me what a bad move it was doing this, but I had to do what was right to do at that time. Financially it'd become a real struggle. I still had the electricity to pay for when I left the boatyard. I didn't want to run into paying for another quarter, although I would get some of that money back. I still had to pay that up front. The latex paint got me through 2 winters. The second winter the temperature plummeted and the paint contracted, so I was painting more latex paint over the top of that. The long-term plan will be to reboard it and fiberglass it with the boat in the water, but at this stage it meant I could crack on getting the solar panels up there, running the wiring through, the wiring for the TV aerial. There was a spotlight needed to go back up there as well, so it just enabled me to crack on with that in the 4 to 5 weeks that I had left. With the panels, aerial, spotlight, horn all in place, the wires run, it was time to sort out the inside of the hardtop. Another boat had turned up at the yard, well, a yacht actually. Something like this you wouldn't see on the river. Because of that keel it wouldn't be able to go anywhere. But I believe the guy that had bought it lived closer to this yard than any yards or marinas along the coastline. The new owner had told us that the boat had been seized a few years ago, and when they stripped back the interior it was lined with drugs. After that it sat there for a while before it was put up for sale, and this guy bought it. And before you ask, no, it didn't come with any hidden extras. Out the front on the water, something really special had turned up. The Queen's row barge, the Gloriana. It had been taken to Windsor after the passing of the Queen, accompanied by the Dunkirk little ships. It was now on its way back down to St Catherine's Dock. Yo! The last week or two, been doing the roof of the, or should I say maybe the inside of the hardtop. UPVC, LED lights, and in the last few days I've redone the top, I guess you'd call it the dashboard. Apologies for not having any footage of me fitting all this. I just think with the time constraints, and it was quite a fiddly job that I did in sections because I had to bond each section up before I could fit the new one up. So I was doing other things while bits were going off. One of those was making a gangplank using a scaffold board, drilled these holes in it so I could attach rope to it at the bank side and at the boat side as well. Used a weather or waterproof paint all over that. You'll see in the next clip or photo, also attach some rubber matting to the underside at each end, one so it protected the boat, and also hopefully to act as a bit of anti-slip at the bank side, whether it was on grass or on concrete. On the top I put grip tape and I guess you call some like ladder runs as well, just in case it was ever going to be used on an incline either to the boat or to the bank. Just gave me a bit more chance of walking up there. I've actually used this a lot, not necessarily in flooding, but when I've anchored away from a bank and need to get on and off. So there you see the rubber matting to protect the boat and act as anti-slip, and grip tape on the top also to act as anti-slip. Obviously I was under this time restraint, so I couldn't do a lot of the engine checks I wanted to do, but something that was an absolute must was changing the engine's oil and filters and fuel filters. So the oil I use is classic marine oil. As for the oil filters, I tried tracing the part number off this old filter, which was discontinued. I think it was only Fram that still did oil filters for these engines. The right boat engines you can still get a lot of the parts for, and it's another reason I went with this model of boat, because they use these Mercedes diesel engines and you can still get a lot of the parts for them. I did have a few breakdowns once I went back in the water, and one of them I was able to get a brand new lift pump for it, which I thought that was absolutely incredible for, I mean this is a 1974 boat, but these engines were actually built originally, I believe it was in the mid-50s. So to still get parts for them is incredible. Just for those that don't know about boat engines, obviously you can't get to the sump plug to drain the oil. So you'll see these things here that look like taps. You actually pump those up and down, and it sucks the old engine oil up, and you put it into a container, and that's how you get rid of it. So as I say, into the last week, Sean, who you might remember from earlier episodes, who sanded back the hull on Barman, he was due to go to the Norfolk Broads to do a boat up there, so he did all the anti-foul before he went. Then when the cradle was put in place and the old stands were removed, he'd left me the anti-foul and paintbrushes to then do the bits that he couldn't get to. Now the boat's on the cradle, and get to the bits that Sean couldn't get to when it was up on the barrels and support stands. So that's all this bit here. But Sean's summing himself up in the Norfolk Broads at the moment. He's actually working. A lovely shot of my Sean Crummy, you missed a bit. 3 new fenders. What? So at the stern of my boat, the air draft from deck to water gets a hell of a lot smaller, so had to have 2 this size at the stern, and then these 2 are the next ones up, and then all the rest I've got covered. So new fenders, yeah, I got those Monday. Rope them now, but yeah, stick those on. New fenders. So many little bits and pieces that still needed doing. So the front curtains there, where I couldn't really put Venetian blinds, I actually made those. Got some blackout material, and I say made, obviously I had to measure, fold over, and I just used that that sticky tape that essentially melts when you iron it to hold those together. There was no sewing, I can promise you that. Also there I'm fitting some LED lights. So as well as the main LEDs, the bright ones, which are a bit much when you just want to chill at night, I'd fitted the LED strips around the edges and over certain doorways. I fitted a couple of security cameras, one in the main cabin, one in the cockpit. These can all be checked and recorded through your phone. They're the Amazon Blink cameras, which I still have now. So on the evening of the last day, all that remained to do was top up the main water tank. I had 4 25-litre containers as well I topped up, but Barnum was done, and it was coming to the end of my time in the boatyard. There's my home. This happened. How happy am I? At the moment, God, I look rough. It's been a stressful week. At the moment, I've got just both the engines running. Just you keep checking the sea cogs, make sure there's no leaks. But so far, all good. So as you can see by the constant smirk on my face, I'm proper happy. I've missed hearing those engines as well. So yeah. Engine's been running for about an hour, no problems other than the pipe that was on here, which I don't know what I've done with. This one was split, so I've just replaced because it was leaking water. Now this is my clarifier. You get the engine coolant running in and out, or out and in, whichever way you look at it. Obviously that will be hot water once the engines are up to temperature, and then these grey pipes are my cold water running in and then hot water running out. So that's what gives me hot water for showers and obviously in the galley as well. So if that's the only problem, then I'll take that. So just put this pipe on here, a little bit oversized, as to be honest, the water came rushing out. I just wanted to get the pipe on as quick as possible, but that's no biggie. It gives it a bit of flex for being in this area. You know, if I catch it with my foot or whatever, it's not taut and liable to crack again. Hey everyone, thank you so much for all the messages words of support and everything. It's been so good. I know you can only just see me, but I daren't put my face on right now. It's so broken out in I don't know, it's been a very hard few months, and I'm feeling exhausted. Had a little bit of an issue today as I set off. The starboard side engine was not going into reverse. Actually turned out, we think, to just be a low level gear oil. So seems right now, so I'm staying on the lock cut tonight. We're all going to go for a drink, nothing heavy, and then I'll head off for another mooring somewhere tomorrow. So thanks again everyone for your support. It's been absolutely great, really appreciate it.
Good morning. First one waking up to the views. Love it.
So there we have it, Barnum finally back in the water after 14 months. It seemed so odd seeing the Manitou sitting where Barnum had sat for so long. Join me next time where my life living on the water begins. Thanks for watching these videos and all your positive comments. See you next time.
Yep. I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.